Hello everybody and welcome to the presentation Training in Negotiation, a read between the lines. My name is Antonia Toneva and I will be your host. And our speaker for today is Miss Maria Trujillo. If you have any questions during the session, feel free to type them in the chat box below and Miss Maria shall get back to them right after her presentation. That's all from me. Maria, over to you.
Thank you, Tonya. Thank you all for coming. For me, it's a very good and a very important time to talk about negotiation. And this is going to be a session about different types of negotiation and in which scenarios can we practice our negotiation skills. As Tonya presented myself, I'm Maria Isabel Trujillo. I'm from Colombia. I'm a psychologist and a professional instructor about soft skills and human development. So I'm going to present with these points or these tips to help you negotiate in different scenarios. But I want you to be very attentive, and if you have any questions or comments, or if you want to explain something or tell us about your own experience, you can do it on the chat or maybe raise your hand as you prefer. Well, first, the agenda through this journey. So we are going to embark ourselves in this expedition. And this expedition about negotiation, I realized how the skills or the ability to talk to others and the communication skills that we need is so important in every single area of our lives, because negotiation is used to we used to be in these war scenarios. I'm from, as I told you before, I'm from Colombia, and we are used to negotiate with a lot of people and about our politics and about our country and our points of view. But we can also negotiate in our families, with our friends, with other scenarios in our lives that it's important to be able to have the skills or the knowledge, the crucial knowledge to have a better negotiation, because a negotiation doesn't base on you telling others what they need to do or telling others that your point of view imports or is better than everyone else's. The negotiation is to have a common ground and be able to listen and be able to bargain on this on certain topics or on certain matters that are important to you and to others. So first of all, I want to have a little agreements or even materials that you will need it from this session. So first of all, I encourage you to have your notebook, your pen, to take notes. Maybe some of this knowledge are very important to you, so don't forget to write it down. Also, to have some beverage to make this session as comfortable as possible. Listen carefully, and of course, be open to knowledge. Don't be embarrassed if you have any question. There's no right or wrong answer. There are only points of view, and we need to appreciate all our points of view to become a better society, a better community. The purpose of this session is to identify and discuss the main skills that can influence the outcome of an effective negotiation. Because we used to negotiate in every single scenario, as I told you before, but we also have a little troubles with maybe calm ourselves in a bargain situation. Maybe we became too emotional. Maybe we treat the other person wrong or with a very rude manner. So we need to calm ourselves, take a deep breath, and understand that if these negotiations go through, and if we can establish a win-win situation, it's going to benefit both parties. First of all, what is negotiation? It's important to understand the concept. Like I told you, it's a communication, but it's a strategic communication designed to achieve agreement. To negotiate, you need to be strategic. And this is very interesting because when I think about strategic, I always think about chess, you know, the sport. And if you are going to make a play, or if you're going to I don't know, like capture the other party queen or something, you need to have strategic common grounds, strategic development. Because if you don't have this strategic thought, you will lose the game. But if you lose the game, it's also kind of a learning experience. But to negotiate something, and that's because this image is on the screen, these puzzle pieces, is very important to both parties or anyone that is embarking in these negotiation skills are on the same page and are transparent and have this sensation to be cordial, to be friendly, but also to doesn't compromise all the time. The basic principle is for the parties to work together. If I'm only looking for myself and my personal interest, I won't be able to develop a successful negotiation. And also, as I told you before, the negotiation are used in war scenes. So I'm going to use this metaphor to explain this. It's like we change the scene or the theater for the war field. I told you there's different scenarios in our lives that we need to be more able to negotiate. Sometimes even with our families, even with our children. A lot of parents, because I work with parents and I work with children and adolescents, are very afraid to negotiate with their families, negotiate with their children. And I tell them that you can negotiate with them, but you don't have to compromise all the time. And the other person doesn't have either to compromise. So they need to take their both point of view, their both directions, and became as one, as a puzzle. So there's different types of negotiation. First of all is the distributive negotiation. This is when two parties bargain over a single product or issue. For example, the price. When you are asking for a discount for a product or something, you are going to use this type of negotiation, the distributive. And this party, or this type of negotiation, it's common that one win the negotiation and the other party lose the negotiation. Because if you ask for a discount for a product and the other person accept your deal, probably they're going to lose a little bit from that negotiation and you will win. This is very common in these commercial scenarios. Second of all, we have the integrative negotiation. Is the one where is more than one issue that embark on this negotiation process. Both parties gain something from the negotiation. This is the most important, I believe, the most important type of negotiation, because the both parties win something. And we need to achieve, or we need to reach for this kind of negotiation to both, because both can win, and you don't going to have a frustrating conclusion about the negotiation afterwards. The multi-party, as the name said, is when there's more than or the process involved 3 or more parties undertaking various negotiation strategies. For example, when 6 friends are deciding when is going to take place certain reunion, for example, or certain meeting. This is a multi-party negotiation. The team negotiation, of course, is when 2 teams or 2 companies compromise or embark in this bargain situation. For example, when 2 companies are looking to merge, this is very common. So they need to establish ground rules, they need to establish a negotiation process that we are going to talk about later. And the positional negotiation, this is when you spell out the position you are in, and you defend this position with all your strategy, with all your heart, with all your mind. And honestly, this is not considered a very productive negotiation process, because if you are so eager to defend your position, you're not going to listen the other party. You're not going to accept what they want to tell you about. So you are always right. You don't listen to anyone else's. So there's no way into any negotiation process on this particular type of negotiation. Now I want you to write on the chat, or to think about this question, and you can tell me more about it. Where do you think do we use to negotiate? I told you this before, but I want you to write on the chat, or maybe give me more conclusion about this. At the workplace, at home, with friends, all of the above. And if in the options doesn't include some place that you think we negotiate all the time, please comment on the chat. Okay, absolutely. All of you think it's all of the above. I want you to ask you, if you are at this, in a negotiation process, what would you do? Or maybe how you start this negotiation process? Please leave the comments on the chat. For example, if you think that a negotiation process will start with a greeting, or with manners, absolutely. Or maybe, oh, Mohit, thank you for that opinion, because it is crucial, and it's going to be the first step for a negotiation process. Planning in advance. You need to plan the thing that you are going to say, the thing that you are going to be able to understand, and maybe to prepare some notes, maybe to prepare, some people like to do like mental maps to organize more or better the information that they are having. Mohit also said, and by deciding what is winning point and what we can forgive, and what is our tipping point. Absolutely. Also, what you are willing to compromise about. Absolutely, because sometimes people said that if, or people think that if you compromise to something, you are losing the power. Maybe that's true. I'm not going to explain a lot about this. Maybe it's true that you lose power, but you also win something else. Because in some cases, the negotiation process, you can be willing to go through everyone else's. Set the tone for the discussion is null. Thank you. If I start a negotiation with screaming, with this is my demands, and you need to give those demands to me, I'm going to lose that negotiation. Absolutely, because people doesn't respond well to threats or to rudeness. So you need to be calm. You need to know that your emotions, and we have another lecture about emotional intelligence, so you can check it out on YouTube. But also you need that your emotions are controlled and that you are able to understand the other person as well. Recently, I'm going to share with you this personal experience because I have this issue with my neighbors. I started listening these noises upstairs, and first of all, I ignore them. I don't want to hear those noises. Well, I think it's my imagination, or maybe I'm very stressful or anything, because I live here a long time ago and never listened those noises before. But the noise increases, so my patience decrease. So I asked for the administrator of the building that tell my neighbors that keep it down. Well, my neighbors react very rudely, very well. They call here to my apartment and they tell me that they are tired of my complaining, and they don't want to, and they do, well, they are not making those noises and everything. I tried to talk to them and I tried to explain them that I heard those noises, and I wasn't trying to be, sorry for my expression, but a pain in the butt for them, but they hung up on me. So I couldn't explain myself as well. If you, let me tell you something, let me ask you, if you have this situation, maybe with a neighbor, maybe with a coworker, what will you do if the other person doesn't listen to you? You can give the comments on the chat. Or maybe if one want to activate the mic, it's also actor, you can, I think you can activate your mic. If you want to tell more. But I haven't heard you. I don't think if you have any issue with your mic or the sound of your computer. But I'm going to stop right there to move along. Think about this situation that I am currently in, and think about what will you do, and listen carefully, because the people that are the bigger screamer, or that screams the loudest, doesn't mean that have the better argument, or are right on this discussion kind of thing. And myself, I'm going to tell you this, I don't like confrontation very much. I don't. And maybe you are kind of related to me in that kind of way. So if you don't like confrontation, there's a few options that you will, or there are a few steps that you can follow that I'm going to tell you after I read the Akelgul comment. He said, I will gradually escalate the issue if mutual task fail, provided I am right. Very good. Isnul said, put yourself in their shoes, listen actively, and register what the other side says. Build a working relationship, fight the problem, not the people. And also, Diba said, try to understand them till the end. Absolutely. I want to highlight this thing that Isnul is sharing with us. Fight the problem, not the people. This is a good sentence, and I want to borrow them because if you understand there are certain issues like loud noises in my neighborhood, you will understand that people is not really the problem. You will understand that people are not entirely responsible for those noises. Maybe it's the building, maybe it's other things. But if the other party doesn't listen to you or doesn't have the capacity or the ability to establish a better relationship with you, it's very difficult to have a negotiation process unless you sit down and both of them, and I want to tell you something that is very important to emotional intelligence as well. If you fight with someone and you are screaming and you have this screaming match, so you scream and the other person scream and the other person scream, it becomes a never-ending story. But if you scream and the other person stay calm, breathe and control, you don't have the person to fight with. So you need to calm yourself as well. Fez says, I would attempt to figure out the reason behind their behavior. Important to observe, to analyze, but to do this, it's very important to have your emotions under control. Because if you are very angry or very disappointed or anything, you won't be able to achieve that that goal to analyze and to understand their behavior. Okay, moving on. Now, for the negotiation process, as one of you said, we need to be prepared. So we need to take a few notes. We need to put on a balance the other points of view and their strengths and their weaknesses. We need to know more about the other party. If we only focus on ourselves, we are not going to achieve a very successful negotiation. So research is a building block, the negotiation process. While you're preparing, you must weigh both sides. Preparation is essential for any process that you are in it. Second is the information exchange that involves discovering and creating value for the negotiation process. This is crucial to building rapport. Rapport is these communication skills that develop empathy and that developed a very understanding relationship between one another. Both parties should explain their interest and exchange their viewpoints to achieve the desired result. Unless this part of the process is transparent, is honest, the negotiation process won't be successful. So you need to be transparent with the other person. Bargain. In all types of negotiation, a bargain is crucial for every type of negotiation. It's the beginning of give and take deals. That is why the hands are shaking, because for negotiate with someone, you need to be able to compromise a little bit, but also to defend what you are asking for. Each party process is demands and seeks to secure benefits. During the bargain process, it's imperative to keep yourself in check. This is crucial, and I'm very I point this very much because it is very important that in this part of the process, you control your emotions. Be cool, don't get yourself involved in something in aggressive or violent. If the other person is going to be violent with you, the better way to deal with it is to let the other person to calm down. Because if you are eager to fight with the other person, there's not going to be any negotiation process. The conclude part of the process. Once a solution that is acceptable to both and being reached, both parties should thank each other. So you need to thank the other person, you need to confirm that interests have been secured and outcome has been successful. You need to be very amicable with the other party. Maybe I saw this more in movies, but it's a very good deal. After a negotiation, you need to reach to that emotional part of the brain from the other person. I'm going to explain myself better. I don't know if you watch these TV shows, maybe about lawyers or, executive of all kinds. After a negotiation and after sealing a deal, they used to have a drink together. And maybe it's going to pass, it's a drink, nothing out of the ordinary, but that drinks represent a relationship. That drink represent a successful negotiation, an emotional bond that those two parties have. And last but not least, the execute part of the process. All types of negotiation lead to effective implementation. The steps to implement the negotiated results should be categorically spelled out. I mean, need to be reading, need to be in a document. Yeah, you need to sign something to seal the deal. A written contract to confirm all the other steps, all the process of the negotiations. Now, contracts are used to find in big business, like big enterprises. But you also, maybe you can have a contract for your family. It's very formal, but it can help you develop more unique relationships in every other scenarios. Let me explain a little bit more. If I have an issue in my family with my significant other or my children, we can find common grounds, put it in writing, and we both need to compromise with that kind of contract. If I want my children to organize their bedroom, for example, you can develop a contract that if your children organize their bedroom, you can give them something symbolic, not something very huge, something symbolic, but they want to. So it's a win-win situation. The bedroom is clean and they understand the importance of it by having this business technique at home. Now, for develop good negotiation skills, we need to think about these steps. Think about a negotiation as a puzzle, not as a battle. If you think as a battle, you will fight, you will become frustrated, and maybe you're not to be really control of your emotions. But if you think as a puzzle that needs to be solved, maybe even a chess match, you will act strategic. So all the pieces become as one, become together. Listen with empathy. Try to listen to the other person, understand what the other person is saying, and be empathetic with them. Empathy is a crucial thing for our community and our society, because it's the way that we say, we understand you, or I understand how you're feeling, even I go through the same situation as you. And this is very important to comprehend and to negotiate certain matter. Develop a win-win situation. In a lot of cases, in a lot of scenarios, sometimes we are fighting to win. We are fighting to the other person lose something. In other scenarios, we are afraid of conflict, so we accommodate to any scenario that the other party are saying to us. Both scenarios are frequently in our daily lives, but the scenario that is less frequently and more effective is a win-win situation, and it can be possible in every scenario. As I told you before, if you want your children to do something, or maybe your spouse, you can make a win-win and you can compromise, but you can also win something from that negotiation. Compromising versus your interest. In some cases, you will compromise, but you also going to be eager to express your opinion, to express what you are feeling, because if only you take this sensation of yeah, you're right, the submission kind of type, I don't want to fight you, so everything you say is okay, you will lose. And every other people want to go through your interests, your opinions, yourself, and they're not going to be a lot of empathy through you. You need to have people skills, absolutely. You need to have how to understand people, how to listen to them, as I told you, how to express yourself correctly. Let's see, if you are going to prepare what you are saying, you need to prepare the words that are coming to your mouth, because things can be misunderstood. You need to practice in every other scenario with your friends, with your family. If you have a very important negotiation, maybe in your business, you need to practice with someone first. This will allow you to be more confident and to express yourself correctly and in assertive manner. Also learn to say no, because if you're not agree, or if you don't agree with something that someone want to impose to you, you need to learn how to say no. But you also, we need to have some balance in our lives, because if you always say no, you're going to miss a lot of things. But if you can say no to certain things that are against your values, your ways of living, etc., but you also want to say yes to something that you believe it's the correct way to do it, please do it. And please, the worst thing that you can possibly do to yourself and to your loved ones is to become a different person that is against your own personal values. We all have those, and we all have our principles. And if we are going to be against our principles and change so much our values to agree with others, one morning you could wake up and look yourself in the mirror and you're not going to recognize yourself. Be strategic. If you want to know more about this, because there's a beautiful exercise that we want to, or we can teach other people with this game that is chess, you need to follow MBS Academy, because we have this session, but with more detail and more exercise and more participation about how to negotiate and how to implement these games or these daily things in our lives to become very good negotiators in every single scenario. Improve your body language. Remember, one thing is the verbal communication that we have, but with our body, we said a lot of things. If I have this face, this long face, and I told you I'm so happy, I'm so thrilled, you are going to have certain trouble to believe me, because my face tells other thing. So you need to improve your body language, understand way to put your hands, your arms. If you have this position that is really near to the other person, is really intimidating. You want to intimidate the other person. You want to, maybe the other person fears you. So you need to be more calm, more relaxed, more flexible, and your body language can help you to go through this process. And absolutely the art of persuasion. This is also another workshop that I developed, or I'm going through, because you need to persuade the other person. But to persuade is not to convince the other person that you are right, that you have all the truth. Not, is to have a process of listening, of negotiate with the other one. Okay, so I want to give to you this phrase that I love from Nelson Mandela, that says, negotiation and discussion are the greatest weapons we have for promoting peace and development. I want you to live with this quote, because we are negotiating all the time, in all, even with ourselves. We negotiate all the time with ourselves. What we are going to have for breakfast, at which time of hour of the day we are going to wake up, if we are going to watch a movie, or if we are going to eat outside. Every scenario is a negotiation, and it's important to achieve all these steps for the process in a very clean, very flexible manner. Because if you don't do these kind of things, you're going to miss a lot, and people are going to maybe try to negotiate with you, but it's going to be impossible, or it's going to be a very difficult task. Or maybe if you want to negotiate the increase in your salary, that is very common, you will not get it because you don't have or the strength, or you are not prepared enough. So these sessions are designed to teach you how to improve these common things in lives in a very specific way. It's not going to be easy, but if you are going to practice, and if you have this put your mind on the goal, you are going to achieve it, no doubt. So thank you so much to accompany me to this session about negotiation. I would like you to please rate the session and please leave your comments, your opinions. I would love to listen to them right now. A conclusion that you may have from this session, things that you will want to learn from here and now, other topics that you want to maybe learn more about, or that you are confused, please leave your comments. For example, let me ask you this question, and is what is the most important learning that you have from this session, from this experience about negotiation? Please leave the comment on the chat. Well, if there is no comment, I encourage you to write maybe on LinkedIn, on MBS Academy, if you have some specific knowledge that you will want to learn. Please let us know through the comments. And remember, on MBS Academy, we have certain workshops that are more with more information, with more strategies, with more content of great value that is going to improve your personal and your technology skills as well. Thank you all for accompanying me with these sessions, to share with me this expedition.
Thank you, Maria, for being with us today and sharing your experience. Again, thank you so much to all attendees for your time and being so active during the session. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'll send the video and the presentation to all of you via email. Feel free to contact us for any public and in-house training, and we can customize any of them for your company's specific needs. Please visit our website for more courses, and don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube for more digital technology insights. I'm looking forward to seeing you at our next session. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you all.